The Leaders Coach podcast is about connecting leaders to an identity that will help transform their leadership by engaging in conversations that lead to opportunities for growth, authenticity, and vulnerability. As we're unlocked, we simultaneously empower others to live and lead unique and authentic lives. Let's go deeper. Welcome to the Leaders Coach podcast with Dr. Shanita Brown. Welcome to another episode of the Leaders Coach with Dr. Shanita Brown. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you all are doing fantastic. And like I often tell people, if you're not having a good day or things are just not looking up for you right now, just remember that this is only a chapter in your story. It is not the entire book. And one thing I know about storms and seasons is that it will not last always. Seasons have to change. Storms have to end. So continue to keep your head up. Continue to be encouraged. Remember, continue to go in the direction that you had set to go in at the very beginning. Continue to go in the direction of your vision. Continue to go in the direction of your plan. Continue to go in the direction of your compass. Continue to go in the direction that you feel God is leading you to, and know that you will get to that destination. I hope you guys have, we have such a treat for you guys with this next episode. And I have to say this, I have just been so blessed to have such phenomenal guests. I want to encourage each and everybody that's listening to this episode to go back and listen to the episodes with our other guests, and not just our other guests, but even the episodes. As a matter of fact, just go back and listen to all of the Leaders Coach podcast episodes. And I guarantee you will be encouraged, you will be blessed, you will be uplifted, because the goal of the Leaders Coach is to have these transparent conversations to connect leaders to identity, so that leaders can transform in their thinking and their feeling and their choosing. And we're just connecting them to identity. We're connecting them to purpose, because leaders lead from who they are. Leaders lead from what they identify with or who they identify with. And so just be encouraged and just go back and listen to those episodes. I promise you, it will definitely bless you. I'm not just saying it because it's my podcast. I'm saying it because these are things that I have heard. And so, as I was saying before, you guys are in for a treat. We have my brother, Pastor Christian Cephas. He's going to talk to us today about transitions, specifically around loss and grief. He has lost prominent people in his life within 9 months. That is his two brothers, his mom, and his dad. And he is a leader in his community. He is a pastor of a church, so he leads at his church. He leads his family. He has a wife and kids. And he's also a leader at his school. He is the head football coach at a local middle school in the Houston area. And he is still leading. And he's going to talk to us about how he's transitioning, how he's grieving, what he's doing to grieve. And I hope you guys I hope you will enjoy this episode, that you will enjoy this conversation. You guys can check us out by going to the leaderscoachpodcast.com. Engage in this conversation by commenting on our Spotify channel. Also email us at leaderscoach@shanitaBrown.com. You guys can also hit us up on our Instagram page at the Leaders Coach Pod. Comment, engage, let us know what something that Pastor Christian Cephas, what did he say, that something that touched your heart, something that you're like, man, I can identify with that. Make sure you guys are engaging in this conversation. And what you guys can also do to engage is on our website, theleaderscoachpodcast.com. If you click at the bottom of the website, you will see what looks like a text button, like a text message button. And go ahead and click on there. Let us know your thoughts. Also, in the middle of our homepage, you all will find a section that says share your thoughts with us, and ask the question that you want to ask, because you never know that your question may be featured on the Leaders Coach podcast. You guys are in for a great treat. Some great wisdom, just some great stuff ahead of this conversation, and enjoy this conversation. Again, let us know what your thoughts are. Man, y'all, I got my brother on the show, y'all. My brother's on the show. I'm so excited that he's on the show. Full of wisdom, full of wisdom. I followed his life, his career. We met a while back, some years ago. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit, but just met him a while back, and just love his integrity, and just love that number one, he loves God, he loves his family, and how well he leads. And I know he has some good stuff to share here on the Leaders Coach podcast with Dr. Shanita Brown. So let me introduce this guy. You cannot just jump into an interview without introducing all of this awesomeness. This is Elder Christian Cephas, y'all. He is a passionate and purpose-driven leader. He serves as the pastor of the Purpose City Church. He serves as the head coach at one of his schools, his junior high school in Houston, Texas, y'all. This is Houston, Texas. So he's going to tell us a little bit about that. He's a family man. He leads his family well. He has both achieved spiritual and academic achievements. He has a bachelor's degree in business management from the University of Phoenix. He also has his teacher certification. He has a dual calling to both minister and educator. Oh, bless his heart, which reflects his heart for the next generation. You gotta be saved teaching these kids. I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
He has over 25 years of ministry experience. Elder Cephas, he has served faithfully in various roles, including youth pastor, minister of music, executive pastor, and for the past 5 years, he has overseen the business operations of the Cathedral of United Praise, combining his administrative expertise with a deep love for teaching and preaching God's word. Looking ahead, Elder Cephas, he envisions expanding his impact through initiative that addresses the educational, health, and spiritual needs of his community. He is a trained coach, a teacher, and a minister, and he understands that while education and training are valuable, nothing compares to the divine call to love as Christ loved. He serves righteously, he lives righteously, and not only is he a pastor, but he's a builder of people, a beacon in his community, and devoted servant of the Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody that's listening, let's go ahead and put our hands together for my brother, Elder Christian Cephas. Woo! What's up, my brother?
hey, glad to be here, man. It's an honor. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking forward to it. Let's get on.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm looking forward to having you, for hosting you, and again, we just thank you for just being here. I know you're busy, you got a lot going on, but I'm just grateful that you are here spending time with us. And so, let me tell you guys this story. I don't remember exactly when me and Christian met, but it was years and years ago. I think we met through some mutual people, and there was times we went out to Houston to be a part of what you guys were doing with your church and different things like that, and just stay connected through social media. And it's just been a blessing just to see your journey, just to see how you've grown and different things like that. Just loving God and just loving your family. And so, but we're going to jump right into this. I asked my brother to be on to talk about transitions. He's had a lot of transition in his life, especially over these past few months. And so he's still leading. Just because you're leading doesn't mean that you're not hurting, doesn't mean that none of those things. And I know he's going to give it to us straight, and he's just going to just tell the truth about the thing. And so let me just start right here with just this question. First of all, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Just tell us some of the transitions you experienced just in this past year or so.
Wow. I mean, what I experienced this year, I wouldn't put that on anybody. Not even my worst enemy. It was very challenging. It was just, I mean, I've been broken. And like I've never been broken before. And sometimes we go through life and we think that, oh man, this is the worst that I can go through. But then something else hits you. You're like, Jesus. I mean, you're basically like, God, how much can I bear? And so, like a lot of people do know, like the last 9 months now has been a transition for me. It started like I remember the actual date and the times. Like my older brother, he passed away first, who was very pinnacle in my career as just help guiding me and leading me and things like that in my life. And so he died May 30th at 3:30 in the morning. 3:30 in the morning we got the call, and I was trying to make it there before he took his last breath, but I didn't get the opportunity to do that. And then we get through the summer and we're trying to embrace this new life without my brother. You know, then my father, he passed away the day he was retiring from the church and passing the church to me. That actual day of the day we was doing our service to pass the batons, what they was calling it, September 14th. My dad died at 8 a.m.
Wow.
And so, like, I was getting dressed and I was just like, wait, what? You know, I get this call and it's just like, all right, God, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna be okay. I've been trained for this, and so on. And so, then, you know, my mother, who's been battling cancer, she had it first in like 2019, and then it came back this time with a vengeance, as sometimes it does. And so, you know, we praying and seeking God. I was like, God, you can't allow this to happen. Like, I'm being honest, like, wait a minute, God, like this is a lot. Like, this is taking me to a place that I don't want to be in, like in a headspace. Let's just keep it. I was in a headspace I did not want to be in. And so she was doing good, and then she was on her last treatment, and then things just went sour, and we lost her November 2nd at like 10:52 a.m. Wow. It was a Saturday, November 2nd, 10:52 a.m. I lost my mother, and then, you know, I on her deathbed, you know, you make a promise. I had my baby brother, which everybody know, Jonathan. And he suffers from his ailment. You know, he was battling brain tumors his whole life, and what was crazy, he had just got cleared for the brain tumors the day before my mother passed, and I was just like, Mom, I got him. We're gonna take care of him. And I said, don't worry. And then on President's Day, February 16th, I get a call and say that in the home that he was living in, that he passed away. So in 9 months, I lost my lifeline. To sort of say, like, everything that was that helped define who I am as a man today was gone from me. And I looked up, and I'm not finna front for anybody today. When you said this, I said, all right, this is part of my healing. You know, when I lost him, I was alone. Like, yes, I'm married. Yes, I got kids, and I love my kids. And they're a very part of my life. But I'm talking about, you know, this was, my family was my life. And so, you know, it took me out. I'm not finna front. That took me out. That was the last draw.
No, that's a lot for anybody. And again, my condolences. I was actually talking to my sister about it. I said, man, I'm praying for that brother, because I don't know if I would. That's a lot. That's hard. But even in the midst of that, even in hearing your story, I hear that there were glimpses of hope, and then it was glimpses of hope, and then it's and so even and sometimes as leaders, we experience that. We experience like all these quick highs, but then sometimes it can be taken like it's just lows, and not just even in death, but just in life. And so what would you say to a leader because it's like, oh my God, like this is up, then it's down, this up, this is down, like all of the ups and downs. What would you say to a leader just to, as it relates to staying focused and staying where it is that you're going, and staying, I guess the better question would be staying hopeful, because it's like, I see you.
I mean, like, you know, there was mountaintops and then valleys. It's like, all right, God, we're coming through this, and then another thing that just, you know, just take it from you, you know, and knock you back on your butt. But what I would say to a leader, I survive because of my faith in God, my trust in God. I'm finna be honest. This everybody knows the poem. I think everybody grandmother probably hated in their house when it says there's two sets of footprints, but then there's one
that carries,
and that's when Jesus carried you. That's me. I truly understand what that poem and that picture means. Like, it has a totally different meaning for me. And so I'm telling you, if it wasn't for God being faithful and keeping me sane and keeping me in my right mind, and restoring my trust and faith in Him, it was nobody but God. And I'm telling you that when I know now that God is a keeper, He's a keeper, because anybody else probably would have lost their mind, gave up, you know. But I mean, man, when I tell you
Mm-hmm.
God is real, if don't nobody know, I know God is real.
Yes,
He's
yes,
real. He's a keeper.
yes.
He sustained me. I mean, and then how God was maneuvering and putting people in my camp that was protecting me
Mm-hmm.
from
That's good.
myself. And
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
because I was numb. I'm gonna be honest. I was at that point at
Mm-hmm.
the final day, brother. I was numb to everything.
Yeah,
And so God put people around me to protect me from others that
yeah,
would they may try to come harm, but He put people around me that protected me from myself.
yeah,
And so I'm grateful for that.
yeah.
So
Oh
yeah,
man,
yeah, yeah,
that's amazing. That's amazing. Even saying that, because it's important as leaders. Like, it reminds me of in the Bible with Moses, how they had lifted his hands when he got tired, and you just had people around you to support you. So even with that
absolutely.
being said, because this is a huge life transition, what type of
Yeah,
support do you feel that people need around them? Because support is not always the right type of support. Like what kind
yeah,
of support that would
yeah.
keep you on the straight and narrow would you say that leaders may need?
Well, one, I mean, somebody that's going to be honest with you
Yeah.
and say, "Hey, like for me, Sean, you're not okay. You need to sit down. You need to take some time to grieve.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, um, you need to. I think you need to have a good, solid pastor. You
Yeah.
know, that will keep it honest with you and
Mm-hmm.
help you, pray with you, and help you maneuver through this because." I'm gonna be honest. I was lost.
Yeah.
It's easy being a pastor and a leader and walk people through that until you
Mm.
need to walk through it yourself
Yeah.
because now you're on the side that needs the help
Yeah.
and you
Wow.
need the emotional support
Yeah.
and and so that's where I was at
Mm-hmm.
with me and I'm telling you, you gotta have those people around you for you to survive.
Yeah, no, that's real. That's real. So we talked about just being on the other side as a pastor, not just a pastor, but just a leader. And it's like, as you mentioned, it's easy to walk with other people through this, but when it's you, it's a different story because you're used to
Yeah,
leading. You're used to helping
yeah,
people transition through this. So as you're going through this, how have you given yourself permission to grieve and lead?
yeah. I mean, the first thing is that you have to grieve. I don't care who you are, what you can be Superman to everybody,
Mm-hmm.
but it's time when you need to be you need to be the sidekick or you need to take a step back. And so I did. Like people was like, "Oh, I can't believe you canceled church." Oh, yes, I did.
Oh wow,
I
people ask
canceled
you that
church.
question?
Yeah, yeah. They was like, "I can't believe you canceled church," and I was like, "What's in me right now? I
Yeah.
can't help anybody.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
need help."
That's good.
And so I have a young small church that's established in Houston. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to make a conscious decision and a wise decision that it was best to allow other people to take control and
Mm.
me take some time for myself and cry
Yeah.
out to
Wow.
God. I know I'm a man and everybody say, "Man, look,
Yeah.
I cried. I I questioned God,
Yeah.
because I'm talking about individuals, especially my mom and dad, where I've seen them pray
Yeah.
for people on their deathbed
Mm.
and God turned it around.
Mm.
I seen my father pray for a baby that was dead and the neighbors brought him to it.
Mm-hmm.
He laid hands and the baby came back to life. I've
Wow.
seen it.
Yeah.
So you have to understand my perception of no matter what my family was going through, even when they pronounced them dead, there
Mm.
wasn't a doubt in my mind that says God is going to bring them back. This is
Yeah.
just another miracle for my family.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. And uh, uh, I had to embrace this newness of life. Is like,
Mm-hmm.
that the truth of the matter, none of us is exempt from grief. None of us is exempt from the trials of life.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that God needed me to go through this Job experience. And
Mm.
and because like I said earlier, it's easy for me to tell you, "Oh, Dr. Brown, I know your mother just passed or somebody just passed that's close to
Mm-hmm.
you. Look, God is going to bring you through. God is a keeper."
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, when it was my time, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't want to hear that.
Yeah. That's real.
I did not want to hear
Yes.
that. So I had to, and I believe God allowed me to go through this because
Mm-hmm.
he knew what kind of leader he needed me to be in
Yes,
this
sir.
next chapter in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I had to learn to grieve. So now, when I comfort the lost, I'm going in understanding both sides of the perspective.
Wow.
So I had to go through it. I had to be challenged. I'm sorry. I had to be challenged in this way in my life. I mean, and it was when I tell you, I grieved and I cried,
Yeah.
and I didn't start to feel better until God says, He said to me, and I share this with you. He says, "You are now in a place where you have nobody but me to depend on."
Ooh, my God.
He
Wow.
just said, this next chapter in my life,
Wow.
they couldn't be there with me. He says, what I have for you,
Yes, sir.
and what is the next move in your life in leadership, couldn't have been associated with them. They did it. He said, they served me.
Yeah.
They did everything that they needed to do. He says, you didn't need no distractions, and you needed to be in this place in my life. It needs to be me and you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that made me embrace everything that I go through a little bit different, everything that I went through a little differently. And it made me trust God, because I'm in a place where I have no other choice but to trust Him.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to make this known. It's not that my wife is not a great support.
Of course.
She is everything. She is everything. She has been the biggest supporter before this and after this. She's amazing. She's been there. But when you're talking about losing people and going through grief and this type of transition, like losing your intermediate family, those are lifelines gone from you. And so I like I said, it's been hard, it's been challenging, but you have to. If I can talk to any leader today, you have to trust God. And you have no else to turn. You have to trust and increase your faith in God.
Yeah. And that's real. That's real. And that's like I tell my young people all the time, I say that's one thing the enemy is after is your faith, especially when you're a believer in Jesus Christ. Like, it's that faith component. And so even what you're talking about your leadership and your leadership transitioning, if you are able to share, where do you feel like God is taking your leadership now?
Wow. I needed this. For me, I was always thinking that someday I would be a pastor, but I was just going to serve my Father forever and ever and ever and ever. And so in this time frame in my life now as a leader and just being a pastor, I had to endure this. I had to endure this hardship, because God needed me to understand people's heart from a different perspective. The Bible talks about, God gives you people according to, His heart. And so in order for me to be able to tap into that place, I had to endure this type of hardship, which I've never experienced. Yes, you lose a grandparent, Papa and Granny was old, they lived their life. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
And it does, you're sad, but it doesn't impact you like losing a mother and a father. And so I had to endure this hardship to understand leadership from a different perspective.
Wow.
And so and that's the thing, and the Bible talks about that you will suffer for His name's sake. So if I'm standing on that name, I believe in that name, I preach that name, I'm faith walking in that name, that means that the hardship that comes with standing on that name is going to impact my life at some point. But you must understand, it's not to bring you in a negative place, but it's to strengthen you and make you stronger for the next level in God where He's taking you. And so I couldn't be this pastor that I am today without enduring that. Wow.
Wow. So even with that being said, do you think the vision of your life has changed? So it's, because you mentioned you thought you was gonna serve your daddy to the wheels fell off, and so do you think it's because we already know that it's already been God's vision because He can foresee everything, but has your your vision for where you're going changed, or do you think it's the same but it just looks different?
Well, it's still the same.
Okay.
He added to it.
Oh, okay.
I knew one day that I was going to be a pastor, like I said.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Okay.
Added to my vision. So I'm thinking, hey, one day I'll take over Dad's church. We just flow into this thing and my life will be easy.
Yeah.
And God, he added to it and he changed my perspective with my vision. And what I mean by that is that he added to and saying, no, I need you to look here. He says, I need to impact your community. I need you to impact your vineyard, part of your vineyard of the kingdom that I have you in. I need you to impact it this way.
Wow.
Because they don't need another Apostle Cephas. But what they need is they need a Pastor Christian Cephas.
That's good.
And his experience and how God is going to use him. So my vision was changed in that way that it opened up my eyes to be like, you need to know this one thing, that you're standing on his name, you will be impacted because of that name.
Wow. That's deep. And it brings me to this. How can leaders, or how have you been able to communicate the transition that you are going through with the people you love? Because now I'm not following anymore in a sense. I'm leading now and communicating that, because some people that have got into your life, they're like, oh, he's the prince. The dad was the king. He's the prince. Oh, now he's the king. So how do you communicate that transition with the people that you love?
Well, God showed me this. It wasn't through communication. It was through my actions.
Okay.
Because they always see me the support of the leadership. I always had to support leadership decisions. Now God has put me into a place where people now have to trust my leadership. Ooh. They're trusting my decision making. They want to know now, as a leader, as a sole leader, am I a good decision maker? And how does he respond when life hits him rock bottom or things don't go this way? So now it's like, if this dude can endure everything that he did and get up on Sunday and said, I still love God with all my heart. Wow. Surely I can love God with what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, that's
surely
good.
I can stay consistent with God. But what I show people is, and what I endure, it was like, it's okay to take some time to take a step back and recap.
Yeah.
And so when I say not more of a communication piece, is more of can we trust his actions? Can we trust his leadership decisions? And so far it's been so good, but all this decision making has been I'm consulting God.
Yeah, that's good.
In this time, because I'm gonna be honest, right now I am still grieving.
Of course.
And the truth of the matter is, I'm still somewhat emotional by things like coming up this Easter. This is first Easter without my family, without mom's cooking. And so I want to make sure in this sensitive time in my life, at the beginning of my ministry as a pastor, I want to make sure that I'm not making a fleshly decision or emotional decision, but I want to make sure that I'm making a God decision. And I like when you said making a God decision, because you mentioned you were emotional. You were, it's rightfully so. So how does that look like? Because that's a lot of things to kind of hear through and to cipher through. So how does that look to be able to make a God decision, to say, you know what, God, I'm putting aside all of this to make a decision you will have for me to make? How does that look for you? Well, I mean, it's once again like I'm getting into my word. I'm fasting and I'm praying, and I'm seeking guidance there. Because it's easy for me to resort back to the way that I used to do things, and make a decision based on how will my father make this decision? How will my mother make this decision? And that's an emotional or a flesh decision, because I'm making a decision based on what makes me feel comfortable because that's what I'm used to doing.
So it's like
when God is calling me to be my own leader,
Yeah.
and I have to trust what He's doing with me in my life. So when I say that I have to make a God decision, I have to consult Him and get into my word and pray and fasting to make sure that I'm not making a decision that will cause people to err in life.
Yeah, that's good. That's a great point, because now it's like because God, God already trusts your leadership because you've been serving all these years, and so now it's like elder, you got to trust your own leadership. I often tell people that God won't call something out of you that He didn't already put in you. He called Joshua to be courageous. He said, "Be courageous," and so He commanded him to do that. And so, even with that being said, let me do this one. Because it's going to forever be these transitions in life. So what does healing look like for you as a process? We're not talking about a destination, but as a process. What does healing look like for you as a process?
As a process, healing is a day-to-day thing.
Yeah.
You have to make a conscious decision that I want to be better than what I was on yesterday. Not saying that you're not going to have setbacks along the way. Part of the process is experiencing setbacks.
Yeah.
But what you got to understand is that you got to take it one day at a time. Take your wins one win at a time. And as you do that, and then you continue life, you're going to look back and be like, wait a minute, like what I was feeling and where I was at, I'm no longer that, and I'm stronger. As the song says, I'm strong, I'm wiser now, and I'm better now. So the healing process, people have to understand it is not a 100-meter dash. It's not a quick race. This is everybody, and that's the other thing we need to know. Everybody healing process is different.
Yeah, that's true.
Mine may be a year. Somebody may be 5 years. It's just the fact that we need to be able to identify that and understand that. Look, I just want to be better than what I was on yesterday.
That's good.
And you can't force your healing process.
That's good.
That was the other thing, because when my brother died, I tried to force myself. I went right back to work. He died, planned his funeral, picked out his stuff. Buried him on a Saturday. Monday, I was back at work. Like, yo, let's go. And I should have took time off to allow the healing to begin and process in my life. But that I'm telling you right now, I'm still in that process.
Of course.
And that's my goal this summer and moving forward. It's just I'm taking the necessary time to get myself together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know us church folks, we don't like to hear that word, but good Lord, talk to somebody, go to a therapist.
Yes, sir. That's real.
There's a natural healing and a spiritual healing.
Yeah.
That's the reason why some of us don't go to the doctor, is because, God will heal me. Yeah. But God is using this doctor to heal you.
Yes, He is.
Let the miracle take place.
Yeah. And that's good that you are aware of that you see that, and as a leader, you see that, and you're going through this process of healing, of depending more on God, deepening your faith in God and your trust in God. And not only as a leader, but as a man, and that you noticed early on, hey, I had a good support around me, and that this support of people they got my back. They allow me to cry. They allow me to do what I need to do, but they're doing it in a way to where I am still moving forward in the path that I need to move, and not out here wilding out and doing whatever it is that I would probably want to do, if we're honest, but they didn't allow you to self-destruct, because I can't even imagine that. So.
Right.
Yeah. So, but any final words as we wrap this up?
I mean, look, my thing is, for anybody that goes through any type of transition in life where it impact your life in a negative way, trust the process, trust the healing process. Allow God to put those people around you that's going to protect yourself.
Yeah.
And just put your trust in God. He will carry you through this thing. He will carry you through every single situation, every single one that comes your way. Put your trust and faith in God, and I promise you, your tomorrow will be better than your yesterday.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You guys, y'all heard it from Elder Christian Cephas. I'm telling you, I'm just, I'm just looking forward to everything that God has for you. And I know your ladder will be greater. I know that God will give you beautiful ashes. He promises those things. And I know that your family is like, the Bible says that they're like rooting for us, that what they call it, the balcony of heaven. I'm probably not even saying that right, but they're rooting for us and they got your back, and your family will always be a part, and know that we're praying for you. And we thank you for just taking out time just to be here, just talking about leading through transitions and being honest and vulnerable and authentic in what it is that you've shared. So you guys, y'all heard it. You're in Houston. So where can people come if they come to Houston? Where's your church? Where can they find your church if they want to come on in there? Cause he a hooper. Christian go hoop. He's a hooper. You want to hoop it? You go see Christian. So where can they come find you?
Look. So look, we're on the east side of Houston, 9311 Compton Street, right off the 59 and Tidwell, and the little side road is 9311 Compton Street. Come visit us. Yo, we got room for you, right? I'm telling you, we got room for you. Plenty of parking, plenty of places to sit. And so come in and enjoy the Lord with us.
That's what's up. Well, y'all heard it. Hey, you guys can connect with us by going to the leaderscoachpodcast.com. Also follow us on Instagram at the Leaders Coach Pod. You guys can email us at leaderscoach@ShanitaBrown.com. Also comment on this. You guys see it on Spotify. Go ahead and comment. Let's encourage our brother. Let's let him know we're praying for him. We're lifting him up, and go and see him on Compton Street. You got a word for the Lord. He on Compton Street, y'all. So we just thank God for him. You guys just let everybody know, hey, this is where it is, the Leaders Coach Podcast with Dr. Shanita Brown. Till next time, y'all be blessed, stay up. God bless you, and we'll see you next time. This has been the Leaders Coach Podcast with Dr. Shanita Brown.